Welcome to episode 13 of the Tabletop Live podcast. This is Matt, and I'm joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Michael.
Hello.
This is the first episode of the second year of the Tabletop Live podcast, so thank you for joining us. And we're starting off today with a something that's never happened before. We have no follow-up. So we've got like 10, 15 minutes of free time here just to hang out with you guys and talk.
So we're going to try something really artsy here.
No, we're not doing that. Shia LaBeouf is not a guest.
So have you been keeping up with the NBA playoffs?
I have seen that the Cavaliers and the Warriors are destroying everyone else.
I have lost major interest after the Pacers got taken out, but I have seen that as well in the headlines and things. That it's pretty much just two teams.
Yeah. They might as well just skip the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, they might as well just cut out the regular season and we'll just do playoffs from now on. Just get straight to it.
I have to confess, though, even being from Indiana, I never expect the Pacers to go far in the playoffs. Even like when they're having a quote-unquote good year, that means like they made the playoffs.
They were very competitive there for a few years.
You know, no hate. I don't like ever since really Reggie Miller was around was the last time I remember him like getting to the Eastern Conference Finals like consistently.
They had a couple years there with George and Hibbert and West, and they were playing the Cavs, or not the Cavs, but the Heat at that time.
Oh yeah,
they got beat every time, but it was still. I think they were going like 6 and 7 game series, so it was enjoyable. It wasn't as depressing as it is now.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the real game is between Cleveland and Golden State. Which I don't, with Kevin Durant on the Warriors, I don't even know how Cleveland has a chance.
I don't know. I think it's going to be tough.
Okay, LeBron James cannot guard everyone. And Steph Curry, LeBron James is good. I don't like the guy, but he's good. He is like nothing compared to Steph Curry. That kid can shoot from half court. He doesn't have to take on LeBron James. How do you defeat that?
They're both very good teams. I mean, it is a team game, so
it's a team game. But I'm saying if you got to put the game on somebody's shoulders, LeBron James or Steph Curry, I take Steph Curry 10 out of 10 times.
Well, the Cavs beat him last year.
They didn't have Kevin Durant last year, though.
That is true.
Kevin Durant's not like they picked up. I can't think of his name now. The guy the Pacers just got back. Lance Stevenson, great guy, but Kevin Durant's a little bit more of a factor than Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, that is true. We'll see. I think they start next week.
Wow.
They still have to beat Boston. I believe it's 3-1, but
the last game I saw of Boston. I don't think there's any doubt they're going to beat Boston. They almost lapped them, so.
Well, we're losing Boston fans now, so.
I know, well. No, Boston lost Boston fans when the Celtics did that on their own. So, I've been noticing lately the summer beers are starting to come out from the local breweries.
Mm-hmm.
There are some excellent beers this year. If you're into like the craft brew kind of hoppy beers, excellent choices all around.
What have you tried any of them? I'm assuming you have.
I have tried a lot of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, I'll try a few. Upland Brewery here in Indiana has got one called Campside, which is really, really good. Our good friends at Sun King, who do the 21 Rye, I think that's what it's called, at Gencon, did it last year. they've got one called I'll Ride, I'll Ride, I'll Ride. Which is kind of funny anyway, but
yeah, it is.
it's very good. Very, very good. Upland's got another one called Helios, which is really good. And I've been drinking another one from 450 North, which is really, really local. I'm not sure what it's called. Citra Fest? But it's not bad either.
I believe Sun King just announced the name of their Gencon beer.
Oh.
But I do not remember what it was. But I do believe that's been announced. Probably should have looked that up before we started the show. I'll be honest, I did not expect you to go into craft beer as part of the discussion.
What can I say? I'm a man of many talents. 20-sided rye was last year's beer.
Would you think it was?
I said 21 rye, I think.
Okay.
So that's close.
That's close enough.
Well, here's a press release about how they're going to do another one, but it doesn't say. A Belgian-style golden ale. Should be good.
That's what they're doing?
Yeah. But it does not say the name of it.
Dragon's Delight.
Oh, there you go.
A Belgian golden ale.
Nice. Dragon's Delight. I like that.
So we'll have to go out there and try 1 or 10 of those.
Yeah. I don't know how many I had last year, but it was closer to the 10 than the 1.
You gotta stay hydrated. It's a busy
That's right.
day.
Bring a lot of water. And when the water runs out.
Well, if I remember correctly, I think I brought way too much water last year. Because I had like a 40-pound backpack on all day. And used hardly any of the resources in it. So I'll probably dial it down a little this year. This will be the year we need the stuff.
You and I last year were the extremes. Like, I brought next to nothing, and you brought, like, everything in your house.
Sleeping bag, pots, pans,
just
fire starter, the normal camping things.
I'm pretty sure there was a hatchet in there somewhere.
I definitely would not bring that into a public event. Not this day and age.
Well, yeah. 2016 was such an innocent time.
I wouldn't have even done it then.
No.
I don't think I would have done anything in the past 10 years.
So, while we're talking about dragons, have you seen the Game of Thrones Season 7 trailer?
I have seen it advertised, but I have not watched it yet.
It looks awesome.
I saw the link for it earlier, but...
So, yeah, you need to definitely check that out. I mean, we've only got, it's less than 60 days until it starts, so... Let's keep that in mind.
Isn't it going to be like a half season or something like that?
I think it's going to be 8 episodes instead of 10.
Yeah, so I guess not truly a half.
Yeah, then next year it's going to be 7 episodes. 7 or 8, maybe.
And then that's it, right?
That's it, after next year.
So that'll be interesting to see how they end it, especially with the book not actually being over.
Yeah. It'll be over well before the books. They said the Winds of Winter. I mean, they've already passed this in the show, but the book is supposedly going to make it out sometime this year.
Is it?
Of course, they said that for like the last 3 years, I think. But
yeah, I'm definitely a Game of Thrones fan. I enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. They're planning, I think, planning for, that's just a terrible way to say it, planning for 4 different spin-offs, the different time periods they could do. I don't think they're going to do all 4 of them, but they're definitely going to keep the Game of Thrones story going somehow, with a prequel or sequel or something. Plus you've got Westworld, too. I mean...
Yeah, I need to start watching that.
You do. That's awesome.
Have I led you astray?
I believe the last show I recommended to you was Stranger Things, so...
Yeah, that's true. I think it was.
It was. Oh, I believe I recommended it to you on this very show. So
you might have. I need to go back and check the tapes.
You should check the tapes, but you should take my recommendations pretty seriously because I don't mess around. That's some pretty heavy hitters right there.
That is some pretty good ones.
It's not like I'm recommending like the Golden Girls to you here, like, you know.
It's funny you'd say that title because my wife actually watches that almost nightly.
I can picture that.
Hallmark Channel, I believe, is what it's on.
Thank you for being a friend. See, they're bringing back Roseanne.
I did. Me and Trey actually just started watching that. I believe last week we started on season 1, episode 1. She had never seen any of it before.
Oh, wow.
So it's been pretty fun going back through it.
Talk about a different time.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how they're going to adapt Roseanne to 2017, but
yeah, it'll be interesting. And I believe they're bringing back Dan as well.
Well, that'll make it right there.
Spoiler alert, he didn't make it in the show. Someone just smacked something off their desk. Are you kidding me? I feel like it's been off the air long enough that I can say the spoilers, right?
They're not spoilers anymore. Like, when people today who are entering the workforce have never seen the show or heard of it, we're good.
That is true.
So,
yeah, I was surprised she had never seen it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's some moments, yeah. I haven't watched it in a long time. I remember growing up, though. So you ready for Gen Con?
I am. I still haven't bought my pass yet. I need to get on there and buy that.
Wow.
I was looking the other day at like the deadline or something, and it was, I believe, middle of July or something like that. And I was like, well, I got plenty of time.
Man, I've had mine for like
I know you bought
2
yours
months.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think registration starts pretty soon if you're wanting to register for anything.
Yeah, for the definitely want to register for some sessions this year.
Yeah, we didn't do anything last year. We probably need to get up there a lot earlier this year as well.
Yeah.
Because we got out there almost like noon, it seemed like. It was probably like 10 or 11. It still made for a long day being there, getting there that late, but I feel like we missed some stuff. Sunday at noon, 16,000 events become available for registration and purchase.
Woohoo! There you go.
I wouldn't mind taking one of the painting classes, especially since we have all these miniature things.
That's true.
And we could actually paint some of these up so there are not just gray miniatures.
Like Doom.
Like Doom.
You should paint Doom for me. That'd be great. I could do it, but I don't really look forward to it. Precision painting has never been my expertise.
I don't know. I guess I probably need to buy my ticket sometime in the next 2 days and then get on here. Because there were some events I was wanting to do. We need to get together probably, and I think they're fairly affordable.
Oh, yeah. I think they were last year, at least.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I bought a bunch of tickets last year. Remember that?
And couldn't
Didn't use the one of them. Yeah, I bought a bunch of the generic tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
So won't be doing that. 4,900 events on Saturday.
Wow.
You think we can find something?
Probably something in there. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. X-Wing.
X-Wing miniatures. There you go. Those don't need painted.
Oh, this is just to go play it. I assume it's just to go play it and have fun. X-Wing X-Wars. I wonder what X-Wing X-Wars is. I don't know what that is. But the championship is Saturday at 12.
You should go.
It'd be fun. It's 4 hours long, but it's free.
4 hours on Saturday. Oh my gosh.
It'd be noon to 4.
How would you fit in 4 hours on Saturday? Well, enough reminiscing. You ready to move on to some tabletop news?
Let's do it.
Because I have something I'm really excited to talk about. The Warring Colonies expansion for Dead of Winter has got a preview Plaid Hat Games. I'm a big Dead of Winter fan. One of my favorite games. And to see that they're doing this expansion looks pretty cool. It looks more like, like there's the different groups of survivors, and now it's kind of like, in addition to attacking the zombies, they are attacking each other. So, adds a whole nother element to the game.
Will it split the team up into groups?
It says it's a team versus team variant for 4 to 11 players.
So yes, it would break up the group. So that'd be something different instead of everybody working together.
You would have 2 teams working together and also working against the other team. New objectives and shared crises.
I do enjoy me some Dead of Winter.
Yeah. New survivors, items, crises, crossroads, and they can be used to expand any game of Dead of Winter.
Does that have a price point on that expansion?
I'm looking right now. Doesn't say, it just says it's coming out this August.
I would assume the average cost.
Sure. Looks like one of the new characters is a vigilante, an economist, a CEO, a spy. Wow. Very cool. Put a link to this in the show notes. There must be it says you can pre-order it, so
we'll just go ahead and pre-order it, and then we'll find out.
Yeah. We'll just see what they charge me.
There you go. I like it.
Sure where you pre-order it from, but very cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We'll check that out and play it and probably do a show on it.
That's kind of what we do. It's our specialty. Oh.
What other news you got?
Well, this one's just for you. Last month, I believe, you were really excited about This War of Mine, the tabletop game.
I was.
Well, prepare to get more excited because Ares Games and Galactica have announced a distribution partnership that includes This War of Mine. It's going to release in Europe in July and the rest of the world in August of 2017.
Very exciting.
So you're just a few months away from having This War of Mine on your table.
It's a fun game. I hope it's a lot like the one that I played.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're all close to the same, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, the photos that we were looking at last episode looked, super in-depth. And I've seen a little bit of the gameplay of the PlayStation game, so if they can pull it off, it'll be very interesting. And it won't be long until we find out.
Yeah. Won't be long at all. It'll be right after Gencon, it sounds like. If it's in August.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure this will be at Gencon, like we were talking about.
Yeah, there'll be all kinds of stuff to see at Gencon. I'm really looking forward to that.
I know. You might even be able to buy this game at Gencon. Think about that.
You probably will be able to. Well, they had quite the boost last year.
And there was a lot of games there last year that were kind of early releases, so to speak. Limited quantities, but early releases.
Yeah. Yeah, there might not be anything there by the time we get there on Saturday.
Huh.
We are going up there on day 3 of 4, so.
Don't be so negative.
I'll never get it.
Maybe you'll get it for Christmas if you ask nice.
Do you have any games of interest that you'd like to see there?
Oh, I do.
Do you like how I wheeled that in there?
It was nice. Nice transition. I do have a game of interest this month that I'm pretty pumped about. I don't know very much about this game, but full disclosure, I am a Halloween junkie. My favorite holiday of the whole year. So it makes a lot of sense that I'm going to like a game called Halloween. I don't think it's out. I think it's a Kickstarter project right now. It is for ages 12 and up, 45 to 90 minutes, 2 to 4 players, And basically, you're like a demon master, demon lord, is what they say. And you control ghosts and things, and you are trying to haunt this town. You unleash your ghosts upon this little town, it says. You move your ghosts around the town, scare people, and you will fight other ghosts who are controlled by other players in the game to become the one demon lord who rules them all. So it's a tactical game, but it looks really cool. The little, they're not quite meeples. They're more detailed, but look very interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures here. It looks good.
The art looks fantastic.
It looks really good.
You see some dice and character tiles and the little grave character markers. I'm not sure what they're all for, but
yeah, it looks real good.
Yep.
If it is a Kickstarter, will you be indeed kickstarting it?
I may have to kickstart this. Yeah.
I mean, put your money where your mouth is, Matt. It's your game of the month. Let's prove that it's your game of the month.
It must be really new because it says it's live on Kickstarter, and that was 14 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
So, get in early. You're welcome, America. I just told you about it.
It does look, I mean, the pictures look really good. Should be fun. We don't have we have got a few horror games in our collection, but we don't have many. I don't know. It says here that 5 people own it, it looks like. On BoardGameGeek.com, so does that mean it's already out? Oh, here it is, 67% funded, I see.
If you go to the Kickstarter page, it's a lot more information. It tells you all the different stuff that's in the game. It shows you the sculptures. They look awesome, by the way. The rules you can look at.
Oh, yeah. They'll definitely match that pledge.
Yeah, they're almost there already.
Yeah. Awesome. Looks cool.
Yeah, so I may have to back that one.
Yeah, looks neat. What is the cost to back it?
It looks like it's €40. So
would that be like $50-some probably? 60 maybe? I don't remember what the conversion is.
I don't know. I've never bought anything in euros before, so this is where we need a live chat for when we do our broadcasts. So our friends across the pond can tell us how much that costs. November 17th is the estimated delivery time, so.
Oh, nice. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
It'd be great if it was a month earlier, but, hey. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
That is true. You would think ideally you'd want it around the 1st of October. Looks neat. Looks very neat. Well, my game of the month, which I just discovered literally like 30 minutes ago, but it caught my eye, and it is called Escape from 100 Million BC. It's 1 to 6 players, 60 to 90 minutes. From what reviews I have read, it sounds like it might be a little longer than that. Ages 13 and up. But it sounds like it's like a team-based game, and the exact description is players are stranded time travelers hurrying to reassemble their ship because a nearby volcano is about to blow. There's dinosaurs around, time rifts, and different things on the map, and you're trying to put together your ship and go back in time. And it sounds like you're going to be meeting different characters throughout history, and I don't know if you're looking at the links here, but
I am.
The game itself looks pretty neat.
It does. It looks really nice.
I love the box.
Yeah.
It's love that. Kind of like an 80s vibe to it. Big fan of it. But it is actually out right now. So I might actually have to invest in this game and see if I can put my money where my mouth is.
This is what happens every month. We find games. We have to stop doing the games of interest because it just means games we're going to buy the next day.
That is true. That's usually what has happened with our games of interest so far.
We have bought way too many of them.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean,
Depends who you ask.
Yeah.
I'm sure my banker would be like, "You've bought way too many of them."
Now, I am running out of storage for games, so that'll be the next step. We need to build some sort of case or something to store all these games.
A large shelving unit.
You can never have too many.
No, you can't. Unless you run out of space in your shelving unit.
Well, we'll figure something out. So yeah, Escape from 100 Million BC. Give it a Google and check it out. It looks like a pretty neat game.
Yeah. It looks very, very interesting.
I'm not usually a big fan of the team games because I don't have a lot of people that want to play team games. But the small group we have of people that like to play them, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Pandemic, Dead of Winter, stuff like that. We always have a good time playing it. But we do have a very small group of people that like to play the team games. We got a lot of people that just want to go out there and win.
Yeah.
They don't want to help somebody win. They want to win. Win or lose. That's it.
We'll put a link to all this in the show notes because I think there's a lot of listeners who probably will be interested to pick up Escape from 100 Million BC. Man, I kind of want to buy it now.
Well, I wouldn't complain.
I know.
It does look fun.
It does. I'm a sucker for dinosaurs.
Yeah. And the whole concept of going back in time with different characters.
Yeah.
I like that. So that's
excellent.
Michael and Matt's Games of the Month.
Yeah.
We should have like a little audio that you can play over there.
Games of the month.
That's what I want. As we go into our second year of the show, I want a lot more of that going on.
Oh, I think everyone else wants less of that going on.
I want 90% of the show to be sound effects and different audio clips played. And then the other 10% is us talking about games. How do you feel about that?
I'll put that on my action item list. Oh, wow.
So you want to talk about the game that we've played this month?
Yes. Yes, I do. So, in honor of May the 4th, we were going to try to get this episode out much sooner. And, well...
Life happened.
let's be honest. You guys have been doing this with us for a year now, so you knew that was not going to happen. But it's technically before the end of the month, so we count it. We played Star Wars X-Wing this month to celebrate, and actually there's been a ton of Star Wars stuff come out anyway, so it kind of worked out. It was a much bigger month than just May the 4th. So, do you want to give us a quick rundown of just... we have to go into the rules because we'll discuss them, I'm sure, in more detail here in a minute. This is a very complex game, but just give us a general summary of X-Wing, if you would, Michael.
So, I guess I'll try to explain it how I explain to other people when I'm trying to tell them what the game is. The game's called X-Wing Miniatures, and each side will make up a team valued at a certain amount of points. Usually it's 100 points. And we've got a group of Imperial ships and Rebel ships. And at least those are ones I have. You can buy multiple ships online or in your game store or wherever. But I've got quite the collection of Imperial and Rebel ships. And each ship will have different pilots. And each pilot has a different ranking and then a point value assigned to it. So then what you're going to try to do is create a team out of all your ships that equal, let's say, 100 points. And the pilot's usually in the 20 to 30 range, so then we'll get a team of 2 to 3 ships. Once we get our teams out there, we can either play like a firefight where we all just attack each other with our ships, or we can do different missions. We've actually done both. Just for the way I'm explaining it now, we'll just say we'll do a firefight. So we would line up our ships on each side of the map, which is a 3-foot by 3-foot square. And we move our ships around on the board, and we will attack each other with attack dice, and each side will roll an attack dice, and then the defender will roll a defending dice, depending on what their different ratings are for the ship. And that's pretty much the game. And you just fly around and attack each other and either complete missions or completely destroy all the ships.
And with this game, let's just get the obvious out of the way from the beginning. The ships, the little miniature models, the detail is exquisite in all of them.
They're very, very good.
They are amazing. They're not cheap, but they are amazing. You can totally like fanboy out on these things just looking at them, and the stuff like these that we have nowadays makes like my inner like 5-year-old so totally jealous.
Well, it makes my 1-year-old very jealous, and he's constantly trying to pull them off the table.
He just wants to play.
He wants to play with them so bad. And I don't blame him.
No. Yeah.
But yes, they look fantastic.
They do. And the larger ships that you can get, I'm thinking like Slave One and the Millennium Falcon are some of the larger ships that we've played with, but there aren't even larger ones. And the scale of them is just crazy.
And it seems like they've tried to make all of them on the same scale as well as they would be in real life. Well, as far as real life it could be. So, I mean, we got ships we're saying are 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, like a square. And then there's some of the bigger ships that are probably over 1 foot long for some of your big like freighters and things like that, transport ships. I mean, they always have not all of the ships in the series, but a lot of them. And it's kind of addicting, I'll be honest. It might be a dangerous path to go down.
It could lead to the dark side, huh?
I started with the starter pack, which comes with the rules, and it comes with all the stuff to get started, and it has 1 X-Wing and 2 TIE Fighters in it. And you can play the game with just the starter pack. I think it's about $25, $30, depending. I'm sure there's different sale prices and things like that. But from there, you can buy individual TIE Fighters and TIE Interceptors and TIE Bombers, and you can buy A-Wings and B-Wings and Y-Wings. And I mean, they're just, like you said, Millennium Falcon and the Slave One. There's so many different ships that you can buy. And now they've added different factions and things like that. There's just, it's such a, I don't know. You get going through the list and you just want to sit there and click buy on everything there is.
I remember last year at Gencon, one of the first things I saw when we got into the showroom, the hall there was this line for this booth. And I was like, what are those people lined up for? Because it wrapped around the entire booth. It was like a 40-minute wait to get in. It was the booth that had the new X-Wing miniatures that were coming out.
The Fantasy Flight booth.
Yeah. And they were wrapped around waiting to get in there and see the new ships.
Well, we even wanted to go in there. Remember, we waited in line for a little bit, and then we finally gave up.
Yeah. I mean, you guys see some of them just out and about, and it was wild.
It has quite the following. And a lot of people haven't heard about it. But the people that have heard about it love it.
They're all about it, yeah.
And we even brought a newbie, not really completely newbie, but he even doesn't really play that many games. But he actually sat down and played it with us. And I thought he actually held his own pretty well on it.
I agree. Yeah.
And I wouldn't consider us like masters of it. I mean, we've probably played 10 games, maybe 12.
Yeah, if that, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have, but so I wouldn't even say we're that skilled at it, but I always have fun with it. I have a blast with it.
I think, and this isn't a detriment, but it's kind of repetitive. Like, you're doing, a lot of strategy, but the actions are the same. You know, you've got like your blaster, like your measurement to make sure you can hit a target. You've got your different paths you can take for movement, and this dice rolling. And really, once you figure out the cards and what all the values mean for your character, it's just those same actions over and over again in different combinations and strategies. So I think, I mean, if it's of some of the more complex games we played, it's one of the easier ones to pick up.
Yeah, once you figure out a round, I guess we should probably go through what a round involves. But once you have it figured out, it is super easy.
Yeah, compared to like Doom, this is like a walk in the park.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, let's just go through a normal turn. The first thing to notice is every ship has a character that goes with it, like Michael said, and every one of those characters has like a level, like almost like an experience level in an RPG or something.
I think they go from like 1 to 9.
Yeah. So, whenever you are playing, the ships start with you move first and then attack second. The lowest level character goes first, and each player moves their ship going up. Well, actually, we need to back up because you have little discs that have
you have a dial.
Your dials that have your possible moves on it for that ship, and you select those before the action takes place. So you have your moves already picked out.
Yeah, everybody picks their moves out and lays the dial face down in front of them, and each dial is actually specific to that ship. So some of these bigger ships aren't going to be as nimble and do some of the maneuvers that your smaller ships will do. So there's also a trade-off when you're picking your ships out. Do you want a more quick one, or do you want the slower ship that's going to have a lot more shield and a damage threshold and things like that? So it is something to think about when you're picking your teams. But go on. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, that's a very good point. So once everyone's set their dials of of the moves they intend to make, not knowing where the other players are going to go, so that kind of throws a little wrench in it, almost like the one with the sheriff and
Colt Express.
Colt Express, yeah, where you would make your move not knowing what the other players were going to do. This has that same kind of vibe. You make all your moves, and like I will not have known where Michael's going to fly his ship, so we can fly into each other. But that's a whole other thing. We'll get to that later. So everyone makes their moves, assuming no one hits each other. And then the highest level player, who just went last, will attack first. To attack, everyone has a range from 1 to 3. 1 being a ship who's right next to you, and 3 being very far away. And the game has a little measuring stick that you lay next to your ship, and you can put it whichever direction you want to see if you can hit the ship that you want to attack. And your ship also will have in the very front of it almost a guide that tells you how far you can attack in each direction. It's like your field of view, I think for the Millennium Falcon can shoot any direction, like 360.
It is 360, yes.
However, like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter has a very narrow window. It's pretty much straight out the front, and that's it. So if Michael's off to like my direct right, I can't attack him, even if he's right next to me. So you measure if you can attack. Let's say Michael's in front of me. I lay it out. If he's really close to me, he's within that 1 range on the measuring, the fire measuring thing or whatever. I get an extra attack dice when we roll. If he is 3 away in the 3 range, he gets an extra defense die. So you got to plan that out. Like if someone's really far away and you just want to try to get some damage, you can, but you've got to have a pretty good roll to come out on top.
And when you pick your pilots, it actually says how many attack and defensive dice you'll get for each pilot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wondering where that information comes from.
Yeah, every ship's tied to that character card we're talking about. That character card has all the information on how many defense dice you get, how many attacks you can withstand before your ship blows up, your character's level that we were talking about with the order you attack in. It has basically anything you need to know is on there.
And not only do you get a card to lay in front of you with that information on it, you also have a cardboard, almost like marker that sits underneath the ship for quick reference as well. So it's very nice. They've got it marked on both things so you can keep the game flowing smoothly. I don't know if you've ever noticed that or not, but
yeah. So once you've measured it out, let's just say we're in the 2 range. That way nobody gets an extra dice or anything. I would get my dice for attacking. Michael would get his green dice for defense, and we would roll. The dice either have a hit symbol on them, or there's a I believe it's an eye.
There's an eye.
For vision, you can roll over.
A critical hit, and then there's a miss.
Yeah. And defense, the same thing, except you have a dodge or an evade instead of a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So how the vision works is every round, each character on the board gets a little vision token. Unless you pull off, whenever you do your movements, you can do stressful maneuvers. And those actually cause your ship stress instead of getting a vision token.
Those would be like a 180-degree spin or something like that.
Yeah. Something very drastic to get you out of danger. And like we talked about, the dials are specific to each ship. That threshold is different for each ship. So like a TIE fighter might be able to pull off something that Y-Wing cannot, because it's more maneuverable. So that goes into your planning as well. Like, you won't get that vision if you pull off a stressful maneuver. And that vision can come in handy because if you have that token and you roll one of those eyes, you can say I get two hits and Michael has 2 evades, would normally be a wash. But if I would have a third dice be an eye, I can flick that over and cash in my vision token, and then I get a hit. Now,
it's not just visions either. There's also, you can choose from what are they? There's a evade you can put on it. The vision. There's a target lock. Is one of them. There's a few different things. Whenever you move your ship, you can also decide one special action for that ship per turn. And there's quite the list of them. I don't remember what they are all off of my top of my head. I usually either do evade or focus, it seems like.
Or focus, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying vision, but it's focus.
Well, it's an eye on the dice, so.
Yeah. But I agree. Those are the two you're going to use the most often, either the evade or the extra attack. So really, after that, I mean, you just do the, again, it's just a repeat. So you would go to the next ship, and whoever's next in line would do their attack, and so on and so on. Now, we mentioned you don't know the other characters are going to fly, so if Michael and I were actually fly to the same place and hit each other, then neither one of us would get to attack. Unless we moved out of the way, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, what happens is you don't know where everyone's going to be, so what happened when we played in teams last time is you guys kind of all just clustered there on top of each other, and we had one big pile up. So it definitely takes some strategy. You want to talk it out if you're in a team, and even if you're by yourself, because you might think in your head, like, well, I can do that and this. And then when you start measuring everything out and putting it on the board, like, whoops. Yeah. And you see it almost instantly whenever you realize it.
In your head, it looks like it's going to work out perfectly until you actually put the... But you don't have a way to see it until you actually go in your turn, so...
Now, as far as playing, we've played the death match the most, but I really enjoyed the campaign.
I did too.
I like the one we played involved like a 5-round limit, which I thought was nice because we've played games that were 15 to 20 rounds before.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to you're like, well, I wonder if it's ever going to end. And because, at the end of it, it really comes down to dice rolling. So if you're not hitting the dice, nothing's going to happen. So at least on something like that, we've got a 5-round limit, and it gives us something to work towards.
Yeah, because that's one of the weak points about X-Wing is if I'm playing against you and we're both just rolling terrible dice, the game just goes on and on, and we're just flying circles around each other.
We've done it.
Yeah, and after like a half hour, that's the most boring thing in the world. You want to lose just to be done with it. So definitely, the shorter, more focused games, I think, are more fun.
Yeah, we probably should have been doing those from the beginning. And then started working on... I guess playing the other way, we figured out how to fly the ships on the board and how to maneuver and things like that.
And I think that's just practice. I mean, you're going to crash... When you first start playing this game, you're going to crash into a few ships. You're going to make some really bad moves,
Oh, but for sure.
You pick up on it pretty fast.
I would suggest getting a tackle box if you're going to get because there are a lot of pieces to it. That might be my one complaint of the game is when we get it out to play, it takes like 30 or 40 minutes just to set the game up.
It is a production.
I mean, it is.
It's Star Wars. What do you expect?
There are so many pieces. And it doesn't help that I've bought a ridiculous amount of expansions for it. But it's a lot of pieces. I guess maybe if I had it better organized, it would be better. But I don't know. It's still a lot to get out and set up all the different tokens and the pieces. And
yeah, I mean, at some point, it's just you can be as organized as possible, and there's just so much to deal with. You've got 3 or 4 different types of tokens, and rebel cards, and empire cards, and all the ships, and dice.
Yeah, there's a lot. That is one of the part that kind of worries me when I bring people over and try to. I tell them in advance what the game's going to be. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. And then they come over to the table, and the table's completely full of tokens and pieces. They're like, oh, my God. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
It can be a little overwhelming to see the table so full of stuff. But really, once you figure it out, the game's super smooth.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just, you repeat the same thing over and over again. It's just different strategies. It's a very, very tactical game.
It's a lot of fun. I like it.
Yeah. It is the most fun Star Wars game that I've been able to play so far.
Our friend Pat enjoyed it on his first turn.
He did. Big shout out to Pato. I was very impressed. Like, yeah, for never playing the game, he did surprisingly well his first time.
Well, I mean, you guys won.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, and that's one of the things, though, that I was talking about how I think it's much quicker to pick up is he'd never played the game at all.
Never even heard about it.
Yeah, and really within 15 minutes of seeing how a couple rounds went, he was making, good tactical decisions that I was just kind of sitting there going, oh, that sounds great. I mean, the teaching part of me saying, oh, you got to do this and do that, it was over with. Like, he knew what he was doing.
And as far as our games usually go, it did come down to the very last dice roll. I mean, our game came down to, it was the 4th round.
Oh my gosh.
Matthew was attacking me, and we were doing a game variant where I had to repair my ship, and after 5 rounds, I could be fully functional, and once I flew off the map, I'd be safe, and the game was over. I was close enough to the edge that once the 5th round started, it was my lowest rated ship, I would have been out off of there. It was the end of the 4th round, and Matthew had 1 attack left. And, well, I think he had like 3 or 4 hits or something like that.
I had 4 dice, and I rolled 4 hits.
And it was a perfect attack. It completely destroyed my ship. And it was literally like, I think I could have taken 2 hits. So it was just an amazing ending to the game, too. It seems like a lot of our games end that way, but it really did. We've played a lot of games of that, and that was by far the closest. But that was also the first time we played a campaign. Maybe we'll get a lot more of that the more campaign missions we get. And I'll also say, when you buy these expansions, a lot of them have new campaigns in them as well. So there's a lot of missions involved with the game. And there's also, someone has created a single-player variant of it, almost like a story mode, that you can get online and print off the pieces yourself, and it's a whole new way to play the game. And if you have a buddy in the printing business, Matthew.
Wink, wink.
They can print off some exceptional game stuff for you. I have not busted that out yet, but I might. I've kind of gotten back into it now. I've played 2 or 3 games the past week or so. So I might start busting that out and getting into that. But even more ways to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's so flexible. This is not really a good parallel, but it's almost like a Star Wars, like Minecraft, because it gives you, here's the scenarios, here's the ships, here's the characters, and build your own adventure in and like we were talking about with like the expansions, the ships, and the campaigns, and all this, they can keep funneling more and more and more stuff into this indefinitely because it's just the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, they're even adding ships now from the new movies that are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you've already got the First Order TIE Fighter, don't you?
Yep. And I thought about getting Kylo Ren's ship. It's on there.
Do they have any of the prequel stuff in these?
I don't think so. I think they just pretend like it never happened.
Oh. Oh.
I honestly don't know if there's any prequel stuff.
Yeah, that was one thing that surprised me was that there wasn't any. I mean, it's still canon as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be good, interesting to look. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked through a lot of it before, but I don't know that I've ever seen anything from that. None of the Naboo starfighters. I would assume that would be one of the first ships, I would think. And I've definitely never seen one of those.
They do have, the prequels deserve a lot of the crap they get, but the ship designs were really, really cool.
They were. So yeah, it would be something to hit up Fantasy Flight on Twitter and see what's going on with it.
Say, hey guys.
And I'm sure they'd say we pretend those aren't real, is what they'd say.
What movies? Which it's a shame because Ian McGregor did an amazing job as Obi-Wan. He is the bright spot of the prequels.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do that.
I'm sure they'll keep going with the new ones though.
Yeah.
There'll be Episode 8 ships come out this year, and wonder if there's Rogue One ships in there.
I don't know. I would think if there aren't, there will be.
I still haven't found a copy of Star Wars Destiny anywhere.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to give up that dream.
I don't think it exists.
So I don't know. That's very odd to make a game and then it sell out like that and then just never do anything about it.
It's not quite the same, but if you want to play a Star Wars game, this is the next best thing to Destiny. It may be better because you can actually go to a store and buy it.
It exists.
It's real. Star Wars Destiny is like the Sasquatch of the Star Wars tabletop universe.
Yeah, you keep talking about it, but until I see some photographic proof, I don't know if it even exists.
People claim they have it or they've seen it. But every time you go to order it, it's magically sold out,
Isn't that funny how it just keeps disappearing like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is.
But if you're jonesing for a Star Wars fix, you can't go wrong with X-Wing. It's definitely it's cool that you can have more than just a couple people. Like we talked about, like you could have a larger group almost playing. So that would be something interesting that we've never tried, but it would be interesting to try.
Yeah, we never have really had a big group, but it would be fun to do it that way.
Kind of have everybody have their own ship and have teams, and which is also nice because you could do something like if you have a lot of friends who are really into this, you wouldn't have like one or two people who are shelling out all the money to buy all these ships. Like you could just have your own couple ships you bring over, and
yeah, it wouldn't be that bad at all that way.
Yeah.
Or if you just played with like the starter pack. And then a couple extra ships or something easy like that. And maybe not go quite as bananas as I went with it. And you don't hit buy all. You
don't have to because, in all honesty, like whenever we set up this last game, over half of the ships that you have, we put back in the box because we just don't use that many.
Well, yeah, you can only use, in our game, it was 100 points.
Yeah.
And that's 2 or 3 ships.
Yeah. So... Again, you can buy whatever ships you want that, are the ships you like, but you don't have to feel like you have to spend like $300 buying ships because you can't use them all in one game.
Yeah.
It's not like some of these games where you like have to have these high level ships to play and, it's constantly like a cash grab to keep buying more and more stuff. Like this game does not play that way.
All in all though, I give it 2 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. 2 green lightsabers.
I don't know if that was a laser or a lightsaber or what, but
I'm not sure.
It was something.
Yeah.
Once again, this is where your sound effects toolbar would come in handy. Overdub me when I make stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm never going to give you that toolbar.
You probably really shouldn't because I would abuse it.
Oh yeah, I can tell that already.
It would be a distraction.
I
think we'd lose some listeners.
My Twitter feed would be just off the rails and unprintable.
Yeah. We definitely couldn't talk about it on the air.
No.
This is a family-friendly show.
We try to be anyway.
So you want to talk about our game next month?
Next month, we're going to play Kingdom Builder, which I know nothing about, so this will be exciting.
So Kingdom Builder, I don't remember where I saw this. It might have been an Instagram, or maybe it was a related game on Amazon. I don't remember which one it was. But I saw it one day, and I thought it looked very interesting. I'll be honest, I haven't had a lot of luck with it. I've never won a game. I think I've gotten last in every game I've played of it, which almost is like a challenge in itself. You'll see whenever we play it that it's ages 8 and up, so I don't really know what my struggle is.
You're 7. That's
but
the problem.
that I have the mindset of a 7-year-old, which is probably why my 1-year-old really enjoys hanging out with me.
There you go.
Best buds for life.
I totally get this guy.
So it'll be a fun game. Hopefully, maybe playing with some people who've never played it before, maybe it'll eke me out a win here. It might be the game of the month for 2 or 3 months in a row until I beat you at it.
The game until Michael wins.
Until I punt it out the back door and we never talk about it again.
The game we do not speak of. Okay, well, I think that's all we've got for this episode then. Programming note to anyone who was trying to find us on Google Play, I have to confess for the first year of this podcast, I've had something set up wrong and it's not been publishing properly. I discovered this in the past 3 weeks or so. That is corrected now, so what I'm about to say is now a factual statement, which it has not been for the past 12 months. You can find this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, wink wink, Stitcher, and we'll have a video version up on YouTube in the next few days. In the meantime, while you wait for episode 14 to drop, you can check us out on social media at Twitter and Instagram at Tabletop Life, or you can visit our website at www.tabletopLifepodcast.com. And that's all I've got, unless you got anything else, Michael.
That's all I got.
All right, until next time, game over.
See ya.